Alright, right now we're going to be doing a wrist and thumb tape job. Right now I am pre-wrapping the wrist, going over the wrist joint, poking a hole with the athlete's thumb and allowing it to go through, going back around up to clean it up a little bit. I could have gone a little bit more down the hand through the webbing. Now I'm starting to begin the taping. I am moving it down, trying to follow the angle of the hand and making sure that I go over the wrist joint, and then I'm going to go across the hand, pinching at the webbing between the thumb and the finger. And so I do this 2 times. You can do it 2 or multiple more times. The angle of that second time was not very good, as you can see the tape creased. So now I'm moving the roll back up and ripping it off, finishing the bracing. The athlete's checking to see how good it's braced. Now I'm beginning the thumb bracing and taping. I had a little difficulty starting it off as I was trying to get it over the thumb joint but couldn't see it. So you want to make sure that you go over the thumb joint, wrapping around it, and then going back across and onto the top and posterior side of the lower forearm and upper wrist. And then I'm repeating this action one more time. 2 to 3 times should be sufficient enough for this. And now I'm just gonna make sure that it all looks pretty nice and clean, because I did a pretty rushed and sloppy job. And now I'm beginning to do the half C-strips to help keep the thumb braced. I'm trying to make sure that I get it on that one strap. And now I believe, I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit, and that didn't work out too well because I didn't follow the angle of the wrist into the forearm that good. Alright, now we are going to begin the ankle tape job. As you can see right here, I am beginning with pre-wrapping the ankle, lower leg, and foot. I am moving it down the ankle, making sure I'm covering everything with pre-wrap. And if you have any rolls, you should be able to just pull them out. And my athlete asked me to go a little bit lower just to make sure I didn't put any tape on his feet. And then we're going back up, and now we are going to secure it off after this one last time. I'm grabbing the tape now, and we're going to begin with 3 anchor strips. You're going to want to make sure that they cover each other about halfway up each time. So here's the first one. And then this is the second one, making sure it's about halfway up the first strip. And now I'm going to do my third strip, making sure it's about halfway up the second strip. And now we will begin the heel stirrups, starting on the medial side of the ankle, going down under the calcaneus, and then back up on the lateral side. My tape I pulled a little too hard, and so the medial side came undone a little bit. I try fixing it right here. Make sure you don't pull too hard, but don't leave too much slack. Now I'm going to go do this process one more time under the calcaneus, and then back up on the lateral side, and then for the third time I'm going to repeat it. Back down the medial, and then up the lateral. And now I'm going to put an anchor strip to help just secure that. And now I'm going to start the C-strips going down the back side of the heel until I almost reach the sole of the foot, making sure I'm going over the calcaneus and the Achilles tendon. And now I believe I'm just going to put one more anchor strip just to cover it up. And now I'm beginning the heel locks. So the heel locks, you start on one side. Right now I'm starting on the lateral, going under the arch and then around the calcaneus, and then ending up in the same spot as I started. And now I'm going to do it again for the medial side. I start on the medial, go under the arch of the foot, trying to follow as best I can, and then back over the calcaneus and ending back on the medial side. And then I repeat it one more time for the lateral side. Normally, you're going to want to do 2, maybe even 3 times for each side. I only did 2 for the one side because I was running out of tape. And then I just go up the foot, try cleaning it up, a little bit, making everything look nice and good, wrapping it around, and there we go. And then just, there's a hole, and so now we're going to be doing the hip spica. We are doing it for the hip flexor, so it will help with abduction. I'm starting by having the athlete stand on a piece of tape and then going around his leg multiple times, wrapping the thigh. Depending on the athlete, will depend on how big their legs are, will depend on how many times you wrap around it. I am now going to go over the hip and over above the butt to make sure it doesn't fall down when the athlete is performing. Now I give him a bear hug. I'm coming back down and going back around the thigh. Now I'm gonna attempt to try going back around one more time with the ace wrap, but I can't, so then I realize my mistake and I bring it and I just finish off around the thigh with the ace wrap, and it ends up in a precarious position that is a little difficult to tape because it's on the back side of the thigh. So I'm holding it and I'm grabbing my tape now. And normally you'd use stretchy tape for this, but we only have white tape. So we're ripping it, and now we're just trying to put the little anchor strip down so I can let go and tape it a little bit more easy. And now I'm just gonna go around and wrap the tape around, trying to cover most of the ace wrap end to make sure that it doesn't come off while the athlete is performing. I block your view a little bit, and I'm just wrapping the tape around, trying to make sure. And now we are done. Now we are doing a shoulder spica. The particular one I am doing will help with shoulder adduction. I'm wrapping around the athlete's bicep multiple times. Depending on the size of your athlete, you'll wrap around different amount of times. I bring it across his chest, over the shoulder, and back across his back, giving him a bear hug. And now I make sure it crosses the shoulder joint. And now I'm wrapping it around the bicep multiple more times. And now I am wrapping it back across his chest, repeating that motion the same time, giving him another bear hug. And now I'm wrapping it around his bicep again. For the end point, I am going to have my athlete help hold it, making sure that it's tight and telling him that he can now let out his breath. So now it is tight. I'm going to have my athlete hold it as I grab my tape. And so now I'm going to start taping around it. Again, this helps with adduction of the shoulder, and the athlete should be able to move pretty easily in that motion and restrict